Welcome to the Musa video blog. Well, the past number of weeks we've been speaking about what everyone else has been speaking about, the situation of the world today with the coronavirus, but I decided to take a break because it is Pesach and Matzah and Chag Sameach to everybody. I decided to talk about Pesach, a message that I think is relevant for us. And we celebrate on Pesach the Exodus from Egypt, but the holy books tell us that it's not just a celebration of an event that took place over 3,000 years ago, but it has a meaning for us as well, that we too are experiencing freedom. Now, what does that mean? I was thinking along these lines. Back then, Maimonides tells us that the Jews were extremely assimilated in the Egyptian society. And the Exodus from Egypt wasn't just a physical emancipation. They were no longer slaves, and now they were free from the shackles of that enslavement. But it was also a spiritual freedom, that they managed to extricate themselves from the negative influences of the Egyptian culture, which was steeped in idolatry, very paganistic. And so the Jews were able to become free, to enable them to get the Torah and to live godly lives, at least striving to live godly lives. They had to get rid of those negative influences of the Egyptian culture. So I say, what does that mean for us? Well, thank God we live in, a great country. Most of the Western countries are great places to live. They've been very good to the Jews in recent times. And life is good in general. So I'm not here to criticize society in general. Nevertheless, we should be aware that there are certain negative influences that we should not have as part of our repertoire, the things we need to get rid of. And it just brings to mind something that, also it says this, it says the name Pesach is like a play on words, Pesach. Pesach. Pe means mouth, Sach means to be able to communicate, to talk. That not only did we gain physical freedom, but we gained freedom of speech. Because, we lived in Egypt, we probably were very assimilated, and we kind of spoke the way the Egyptians spoke, whatever that was. But since they were pagans, and they were steeped in idolatry, it was most likely reflected in the way they spoke. And we Jews, who were also very steeped in idolatry when we were back then, probably spoke the same way they spoke. And so we also became free. We were able to talk the way we're supposed to talk, or at least begin to learn how we're supposed to talk. So that would be an interesting thing, if we could, for ourselves, reflect on how should we talk? Like, what does God want from us? What is dignified speech? And there are certain elements in society today where I think they've degenerated. Like people in places of authority, programming on television, on radio, over internet, they're constantly knocking each other. There's a lot of this stuff where we're degrading the other person, not sticking to the issues, just knocking the person. That's not okay. We shouldn't be talking that way. We shouldn't be busy slandering the other person. There's been like a flippancy, like you just say things, and there's been a lack of attention to the detail of telling the truth. You just say something, yeah, I'll be there. I'm not really going to be there. Things like that. Other things, the things we talk about, I don't mean us necessarily, but things that are being spoke about in public forums. Things that in the past, you didn't talk about these things in public. They were immodest subjects. Not everything is meant to be spoken about openly. And the language, the expletives, like certain words, when I was a kid, there's certain words you didn't say. Now it's commonplace to say these words. And we could go on, saying things that hurt the other person's feelings. A lot of this goes on. There's a lot of negative speech going on in society. I think I could give a whole talk about this, but this is a short video blog. But if you think about it, you'll realize there's a lot of undignified speech. And I think that's something we could try to strive for this year. Try to emancipate ourselves, extricate ourselves from this undignified speech, and start to speak in a way which is more reflective of who we want to be, of our true spiritual self. We should be speaking in a more dignified, in a more regal, in a loftier way. That, I'm proposing, should be our personal freedom this year on Pesach. Chag Sameach. See you next time.